After getting some sun yesterday, back to another gloomy and chilly start with some folks even seeing some rain showers. I'm Rachel Cox-Rosen.
I'm Belinda Post. I call it the January grays. I mean, when you look out the window, getting woken up by the sunlight, still just a little gray and gloomy. Meteorologist Nash Rhodes has a little bit more on what we're starting with.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those days, Belinda. Not an excellent beach day for any part of Southwest Florida, as things are going to look just like this throughout the morning and afternoon. A gloomy start and even some heavy rain just off the shoreline. You're seeing here some of these rain curtains on our Englewood live beach camera, and Englewood seeing even more spot showers rolling on shore as these are pushing through coastal Sarasota and coastal Charlotte counties right now. Eventually, this is going to make its way up toward DeSoto County next to Arcadia. I know you've been battling multiple bouts of rain. That's going to be pushing toward your area soon. And a live look here at Englewood on Winks Live Doppler 3X. This is about 2 to 3 minutes off the shoreline. We'll be pushing into Englewood, Cool Today Park, and perhaps Boca Grande next, as you're seeing even more spot showers building just off the coastline. A broader look still showing most of Southwest Florida battling these hit or miss waves of isolated showers. No thunderstorms at the moment, nothing on the strong side, but even downtown Naples getting in on the action as it stands. We're going to stick with a wet weather pattern throughout the morning, afternoon, and evening today. And while it's not just going to be a torrential downpour, there will be just some stubborn drizzle to put up with until we start to clear things out toward the beginning of next week. I'll be timing that out with your extended forecast coming up.
Bullets fly on a busy road in a fit of road rage.
It all came to a crashing end. This was on Collier Boulevard. After a chase, deputies forced the person driving the car to finally end it. You can see that in the video happening right here. Wink News reporter Tiffany Rizzo is live in Collier County. Tiffany, it's a scary situation for anyone on the road as this all unfolded. What did a witness say they saw?
Belinda, it's definitely a scary situation. The witness told us they saw a person in a blue Hyundai pull out a gun and start to shoot at a truck. Now, they wanted to remain anonymous, but they emailed into our news station. This all happened around 8:30 last night. Take a look at some of the video we got from the scene after the blue car was stopped. You can see deputies investigating the Hyundai as it is pulled over on the side of the road with its airbags deployed, the front left tire flat, and a damaged bumper. Collier County Sheriff's Office says they were responding to shots fired during a road rage incident, and the driver didn't give up easy. The Collier County Sheriff's Office calls this a pursuit. This is the route the blue car was chased by deputies. You can see it began near Immokalee and Randall. It continued down Wilson Boulevard to Golden Gate Boulevard West to Collier Boulevard, and finally coming to an end near Collier Boulevard and 7th Ave Southwest after deputies say they used a pit maneuver to stop the blue Hyundai, basically spun the driver out. The suspect is currently in custody and being interviewed. Now, there's still so much information we're trying to figure out here, like what started this road rage in the first place, and is everybody okay? We're working to gather some more information, and we'll bring you those answers as soon as we learn more. I'm reporting live in Collier County. Tiffany Rizzo, Wink News.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. Well, we've likely all had some run-in with road rage, but another incident in 2022 led to bullets flying. Look at this Mercedes riddled with those bullets. Collier deputies say a man rear-ended their Mercedes on Immokalee Road as they approached the on-ramp to 75 North and started shooting. The victim said he laid down to dodge the bullets. Deputies later arrested a man after he took off.
With just days until the Iowa caucuses, Governor Ron DeSantis and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley are not holding back in their attacks against one another. Listen to the fireworks on the debate stage last night.
Under her administration, you would have seniors getting less cost of living adjustments while your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about putting Americans last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put our own people first. We have to put
Governor Haley, let him speak.
She also says she's always supported school choice, and she failed to deliver. She blames other people. Leadership is about getting things done. Stop making excuses. Make it happen.
If leadership's about getting things done, how did you blow through $150 million in your campaign and you were down in the polls?
So here's
I
think
not
this
a manager.
is very
No,
instructive.
now I'm going to say.
I think it's very instructive about how Nikki Haley sees the world.
I think I have the floor.
Political advertisements as like that's as important as the kids and their education. What is more important here? She's saying somehow that that's not as important.
It's Governor Haley's time. Go ahead.
I think I hit a nerve.
Now, clearly, there's no love lost between the two of them. They both were in a battle for second in the polls behind former President Donald Trump.
And the former president knows that, so he didn't bother with the debate. Instead, he participated in a town hall in Iowa at the same time. And despite what DeSantis and Haley say about Trump not showing up in the state, he isn't worried about the upcoming vote.
And I have polls that show me leading by a tremendous amount in New Hampshire and a lot in Iowa, and nationwide we're leading by almost 60 points. So I'm not exactly worried about it. We're winning tremendously here. I think we're 20, 24 points up. I brought some polls if you want to see them, just in case. But I think we're 24, 25 points up.
Wink News is Campaign Central. We have crews in Iowa, along with Wink News reporter Claire Galt's coverage there. Anchor Chris Stefani will be joining her on Friday. Wink News will have live reports heading up to the caucuses throughout the week.
This morning, we're working to figure out what caused a car to crash into a home in Cape Coral. It happened last night on Northeast 15th Lane. You see the car smashed into the garage door, getting lodged inside. We're also working to find out if anyone was hurt.
Now, it's been more than 2 weeks since a Port Charlotte mom was brutally taken from her young children.
She has a grandson. He's 9 months old, so she just became a grandma, and she never even got to meet him.
Right now, Fidel Fletcher, the man accused of stabbing the woman, is still on the run. Wink News reporter Jolina Esperto spoke with neighbors who witnessed the stabbing.
Nicole Gates moved to Florida about a year ago after the passing of her husband and father of her children, December 26, 2022. She wanted her kids to have a fresh start and change of scenery. She married Fidel Fletcher shortly after. Fletcher is suspected of stabbing her to death December 26, 2023.
And the saddest part, the oldest was like, my daddy's gone, and now my mommy's gone too.
And they've both been in heaven together, and I kept saying, let's just pray, let's just pray.
Neighbors told me Nicole ran to their house for help after Fletcher stabbed her multiple times. They tried to help her, but she eventually died after going to the hospital.
She grabbed the screen door and she just went straight down to the ground. But she said as she was running, he's trying to kill me.
He's killing me, he's killing me.
And she went to the ground. Well, that's when I yelled at my daughter and I said, go grab a towel. Because, she was just covered. It was horrific.
Nicole, or Nikki as loved ones call her, was the oldest of 5 sisters. 2 of them, Tabitha Hunt and Bianca Anastasia.
She had a contagious smile. She kept everybody laughing all the time. She was a very bright person. She was just somebody, like, her laughter was probably the thing we'll miss the most.
Neighbors told me Nikki's relationship with Fletcher, who sometimes goes by the alias Neil, did not sound good. Her sisters told me they believe Nikki kept them sheltered from how bad it really was.
We just want him caught. We want him off of the streets. We need to start this grieving process, and we can't do that when we know he's still out there. Our minds are so clouded by the fact that he's still out there. I don't believe our sister was his last stop.
Jolina Esperto, Wink News.
Her sisters told us Nicole never got to meet her first grandson, who's only 9 months old. Also, Crime Stoppers says Fletcher may have ran to Arcadia, but they do have ties in Charlotte County. He may be riding a black BMX-style bicycle and wearing blue jeans with a green Army-style jacket. Crime Stoppers is offering a $3,000 reward for any information that leads to his arrest. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering $5,000 on top of that.
Another accused murderer on the run. Deputies say he's armed and dangerous. Look at your screen. This is 53-year-old Emilio Olalde. Investigators say he shot and killed his ex-girlfriend, Olivia Maldonado, at the flea market on US 17 and Southwest MLK Jr. Street in DeSoto County. That happened Sunday morning. Investigators found Olalde's truck, but they haven't found him yet. The sheriff's office told us he likely had some help getting away. Olalde has these tattoos: a bird, a lion, and a scorpion are on his arms. Investigators say if you see Olalde, don't approach him. Call 911 or Crime Stoppers. That number is there on your screen.
The woman shot to death in a hotel room was the victim of domestic violence. Collier County deputies say Maria de las Amador Dominguez was killed by her ex-boyfriend inside the Fairfield Inn on Collier Boulevard. Investigators say Carlos Perez took his own life after the shooting. Hotel staff made the gruesome discovery when they went in to clean the room. It's not clear what led up to the gunfire.
A Cape Coral man is being held without bond, accused of driving drunk and sending a police officer to the hospital. Cape Coral police say Brian Stone ran over an electrical cable, causing it to hit an officer. Police say Stone smelled like alcohol and failed a sobriety test. This morning, the officer is out of the hospital.
For decades, she has played a detective solving violent sexual crimes on TV. Now, Law & Order SVU star is sharing her own survivor story after the break.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. If you haven't headed out the door just yet, might be an ideal time to grab that umbrella, because today, especially tomorrow and into Saturday, you're going to want to have that umbrella by your side, because we'll at least be battling a few stray showers as you step out the door, and temperatures reach the low 80s for Friday afternoon. Saturday, more of the same, but we ease up on the temperature with isolated showers and a few weak thunderstorms in the forecast. And even today, I'm tracking some isolated showers out the door this morning, and we're going to continue with that forecast throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the evening time as well. A weak front has stalled out just to our south. Now, this is that same front that passed through on Monday and brought all those strong thunderstorms and rain chances to us. That has since sat here right over sections of Key West and is beginning to slowly lift, bumping up those rain chances for us and already spurring up all these spot showers just draped across the entirety of Southwest Florida. Winks Live Doppler 3X, 3 times more powerful, giving us a high-resolution image of each of these rain showers. I want to take you out to a few of the stronger ones that are just now starting to bubble up. This is near Fort Myers Beach, moving to the north and east very quickly. If this continues on that track, it'll be heading towards Cypress Lake next, and then eventually Southwest Florida International Airport in the San Carlos Park area, potentially passing just north of San Carlos Park if it stays on that track. Doppler 3X also tracking another large shield of rain directly over Pelican Bay and Naples right now. And again, this is not a heavy downpour or torrential rain by any stretch of the imagination. This is just a little bit of a drizzle, potentially just some stray to hefty rain showers for very brief periods of time as they zoom by. And if this continues on its current track, it's also going to push inland toward Golden Gate Estates next with our most powerful shower that we're seeing here. Even some reds being picked up by Doppler 3X. That shows heavy rainfall. That's directed to the north and east and is going to be moving into Orange Blossom as early as 9:28 a.m. then potentially Ave Maria right around 9:20, so just before it pushes through Orange Blossom. This current track would eventually move it over State Road 29, so if you are going to be commuting on that roadway within the next half hour, just a heads up, there might be some slick spots after that hefty shower passes over it. For the rest of us, still just battling that drizzle, and that's how this morning and afternoon is going to look like. Lots of little blobs of rain popping up here on future track with no rhyme or reason as to where they're going to form. And I think as we get later into tonight, most of that rain is going to be shifted just north of the Caloosahatchee River, and those rain chances will begin to dwindle overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning's forecast, with Bonita Springs, Naples, and Marco Island seeing the clearing before areas to the north like Punta Gorda and perhaps Arcadia. Your 7 to 10 day forecast keeping rain around through the weekend and into the start of next week. It's not until Wednesday of that following work week that we clear out the rain and see high temperatures drop to the upper 60s.
A woman known for helping victims of rape and sexual assault on TV was once a victim herself.
Mariska Hargitay, who plays Olivia Benson on Law & Order SVU, is coming out saying a friend raped her when she was in her 30s. Hargitay spoke about the awful experience in the newest issue of People magazine. She says that for years she coped with her trauma privately, just erasing it from her mind. She also says she won't let the experience define her. Hargitay has been a longtime advocate for victims of sexual violence. In 2004, she founded Joyful Heart Foundation to spread awareness and provide support for survivors. Rachel, I remember this was such an issue that victims stayed in silence because there wasn't a lot of help out there. Those things are really changing.
Yeah, that's right, Belinda. Advocacy groups say it all starts with changing the culture. Every 68 seconds, someone, women and men, is sexually assaulted in the United States. Every 9 minutes, it's a child. More than half happen at home. The Center for Abuse and Rape Emergencies in Charlotte County is a great resource in our area. They're a certified rape crisis center with a 24/7 hotline, crisis hospital response, and counseling services. It was another night of chaos in Cape Coral.
I don't think anybody in this room had the guts to respond. It was like a riot.
One by one, people took a stand in front of the city council expressing just how unhappy they are with the decisions they're making.
I want to live here forever, but what you're doing is going to turn our city into a nightmare. Look up
Wink News anchor Justin Case has more on the people who are still fired up over the council adding a stipend for themselves.
These meetings feel like Jerry Springer never died, and we have this here in Cape Coral. So for free tickets, go to capetv.com.
At Wednesday's Cape Coral City Council meeting, we saw more people show up than we've seen before. We saw more cops in attendance than we've seen before. And the topic of stipends was so contentious, we met many people showing up here who have never been to a meeting before.
If they're going to keep doing these things that are costing the taxpayers, I got to get here.
What they voted themselves is coming out of my wallet.
People at the meeting were fed up, saying council is not listening to its residents.
We need a whole new council and definitely a new mayor.
Others urged council to strike down the stipend, saying council members knew what the salary was when they took the job.
It's high time you start truly hearing the voice of the people. Now I challenge just one of you to tell me what I just said. Exactly.
Public input was once again halted after applause and cheers rang out from the crowd. Once public input officially ended, only council members Shepard and Steinke addressed what the crowd had to say. Shepard says the topic of stipends was not discussed before being voted on last meeting because of how chaotic the crowd was.
I don't think anybody in this room had the guts to respond. It was like a riot.
Artificial intelligence gets a lot of flack. It's scary what it's capable of, but listen to this. It's helping keep some people alive. The FDA recently approved a device for diabetics called the bionic pancreas. It takes a lot of the burden of continually entering carb intake off the user. It requires just one entry about the diabetic's next meal size. Then, with the help of an AI algorithm, it precisely determines the amount of insulin needed to keep blood sugar stable. Mia Campos, who is a diabetic, got the iLet device and couldn't be happier with it.
I absolutely loved it. I think it'll help a bunch of people or kids who have busy lives and can't take the time out of the day to put in manually their carbs, so this will do it for them.
The bionic pancreas uses an attached plastic infusion set that talks to the sensors and delivers the insulin.
Coming up, the Maize and the Blue are college football playoff national champs, but not without a little help from a player here. Next, why his love for Michigan makes the victory even sweeter.
Welcome back, Southwest Florida. Fasten up your seatbelts because we have a roller coaster ride of high temperatures ahead of us over the coming days. We will bump up our highs into the 80s beginning Friday afternoon. 81 degrees is what I'm anticipating for downtown Fort Myers, which puts us above average, and then it's downhill from there. 70s by Saturday and Sunday, below average with those high temperatures. Back to above average for our highs by Monday, and then below average again Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Pay close attention to the forecast because it's going to change significantly from day to day with your forecast, and many of the days are going to be just like this with spot showers throughout the morning, afternoon, and evening. And today, while you see a lot of rainy icons on your screen, it's not going to be raining during every single hour. Just note that pesky showers will be in the area to start and close out today, with temperatures only climbing into the upper 60s and then hitting the brakes before we hit the 70s. And Wink's Live Doppler 3X looking similar to how it is right now. Most of those spot showers currently directed farther south. I think as we get into the evening time, more and more of these are going to shift north of the Caloosahatchee River.
Breaking news, the New England Patriots is expected to part ways with the greatest professional football coach of all time, Bill Belichick. This marks the end of an unmatched run in NFL history that included 6 Super Bowl titles. Belichick needs just 15 more wins to become the winningest head coach of all time. He's expected to draw widespread interest from other teams with head coaching vacancies.
Gator fans, you will no longer go up against one of the most feared coaches of all time. Legendary and future Hall of Fame football coach Nick Saban is officially retiring. In his 17 years at Alabama, Saban collected an impressive 206 wins, 6 national championships, 10 SEC championships, and coached 4 Heisman Trophy winners. Saban also won a national title at LSU, which gives him the all-time record of 7 national championships. Saban and his family say the university is a special place to them, and they will always consider Alabama their home.
The University of Michigan is at the top of the college football world after beating Washington in the College Football National Championship. On that Wolverine roster is Peter Simmons, the third from Bonita Springs. We introduced you to Simmons last week after Michigan won the Rose Bowl.
Now Simmons is a part of history again, making his maize and blue family proud. Wing Sports reporter Zach Oliveri talks with Simmons after the big win.
With confetti raining down and head coach Jim Harbaugh hoisting the championship trophy into the air, the Michigan Wolverines are national champions. A surreal feeling for defensive lineman Peter Simmons III.
Sometimes you just think dreams are sometimes too big to grasp. And, having, a dream of mine that's, been my lifelong dream my entire life and fulfilling that is just so rewarding.
Growing up in Bonita Springs, Simmons idolized the Michigan football players, even carrying that passion during his time playing on the offensive line at Bishop Verot.
And I styled my game after Taylor Lewan. He's the reason I wore number 77.
His dream was to suit up for the maize and blue and win a national title. That moment arrived Monday night in Houston.
He's got it. Michigan barrels in.
And once Blake Corum put the championship game out of reach, reality started to sink in.
I was looking at the clock. I was kind of doing the math in my head. And, miracles do happen, but I was like, man, this is really going to happen. You're part of that moment. You're part of, one of the greatest football teams in University of Michigan football history.
During the post-game celebration, Simmons made sure he got his hands on the championship trophy.
Big Ten championship trophy was pretty heavy. Then the Rose Bowl trophy was a little bit heavier. This thing had some good weight to it. And then, after that, went over to the sidelines, saw my dad, the rest of my family, just looked at each other and started crying because, this all just means so much to my family and I.
A moment this lifelong Michigan man will never forget. Zach Oliveri, Wink Sports.
Simmons and the Wolverines have their championship parade scheduled for this Saturday.
A youth musical group in Southwest Florida has polished their act and is ready for international competition. The Center for the Arts Bonita Springs Theater held their last rehearsal Wednesday. They'll compete in Atlanta in the Junior Theater Festival. It's the largest youth theater conference in the world. The Bonita group will perform a 15-minute snippet from Beauty and the Beast.
It's really cool because there's an educational element. The kids get to meet other kids that are just as passionate as they are and from around the world and get to network with them. And then there's the kind of fun spirit of competition. I just want them to leave feeling like they did the absolute best they can and feeling like they pushed themselves beyond what they're used to and challenged themselves and feel like they really gave it their all.
The students have been practicing 4 to 6 hours since November while balancing their schoolwork as well. It's tough work. We wish them all the best.
Some furry friends are looking for loving homes right now. The Lee County Domestic Animal Services is working to get their shelter animals a home for the new year. All through the month of January, adoption fees are just $30 for all animals. The adoption package comes with a spay or neuter surgery, vaccinations, deworming, and a microchip, along with age-appropriate tests and licensing.
Coming up, it's down to the wire in Iowa. 2 candidates take the debate stage while their opponent sits this one out again. Coming up, what the former president said about them in a town hall.